Welcome back to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs Television. Once again, it's your boy Kier, the critic. We're out here covering Sinister Creature Con, and we're actually at a really cool booth right now. It's called Frankenpine's Monsters with Justin Pine, and he makes some really cool stuff. It looks like masks and things of this nature. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
Former special makeup effects artist, and I still dabble in that, but there's not as much money in that as selling masks and stuff, so I like to do that, and I also like to have some lower priced items available too, so I make small scale masks for dolls and action figures, as well as ones you can wear yourself and then put up on your shelf as nice art for the rest of the year.
Very cool. And what's the process to make like something like this? How does that process? What goes into that process?
It starts with clay and sculpting it into any form you want. Sometimes I start and I don't even know what I'm going to make until I start to see things form, and then I feed into that vision. And then there's a mold making process with plaster, and then once you get the negative of that, you cast it up in latex, and then you paint it, and then pretty soon you got this fancy piece of rubber you can go scare your neighbors with.
That is really cool. And so yeah, I mean, how long have you been making these masks?
Just a couple years before the pandemic, I started doing it seriously, but I've been making masks for about 20 years now.
And when you're selling these, do you sell them like online? Do you have like a storefront, or do you normally just come to conventions and do these?
Mostly conventions, but I do like to sell online on Etsy and on my Instagram page. I try to keep it real centralized and not spread out too far.
Very cool. And how can people find you if they want to get involved or they want to purchase one of your masks or be involved in your projects?
All right. I'm on Instagram at Frankenpine, and you can DM me on there. I have a link to my Etsy page on there, which is etsy.com/shop/FrankenpinesMonsters. And that's pretty much it. But 100% response rate.
All right, well, sounds good, man. Well, I greatly appreciate you talking with us today. And before I let you go, what are you most looking forward to out of the convention this weekend?
I actually have all my kids here with me for the first time, like since working, because we used to come before I even was selling, just to like see the celebrities and stuff, because we're a whole family of horror nuts. So yeah, this is our Disneyland.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, you're raising those kids right, man. Get them involved in horror first thing, man. Absolutely. Well, we're actually at a really cool booth with Alan Carnes that has Go-To Effects, and he does a lot of special effects for films, events, everything. So, how you doing today, Alan?
Oh, I'm doing really great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So how did you get involved in doing special effects and all the graphic designs and things that you do and the costume work and all this?
Actually, I've been inspired since I was about 5 years old. First time I actually saw John Carpenter's The Thing, and I was 5 and my sister rented it, and long story short, they got scared and I popped out from behind the couch going, "That's awesome! I want to learn how to make that!" And then it was literally a long journey from the time I was 11 all the way up until my age now. And I've been working in the film industry professionally for over about 16 years.
Very cool. And so I know you do a lot of masks and costumes and things of this nature. What are some of the films that you've had the pleasure of being able to work on?
So the films vary from anywhere from a feature film to short films. I mean, I love all of them, actually. I mean, I couldn't really name just my favorites. I'm doing anything like the movie Armed. I did a movie called Luna. I did a movie Identity Bites. We have a feature film that we just finished, actually, and it's going to hopefully come out later this fall, called Crackoon. If you see the poster right here, done by Fuzzy Monkey Productions.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, or saw like a write up for it, because it was kind of like Cocaine Bear or something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how much hype it got on YouTube, and I was asked to build the puppet, and then it just kind of took off from there, and it's just been a thrill. I mean, it got to the point where now we have like 3 sequels coming out of different cracked out animals, and then it's an amazing ride.
Very cool. So when you're making something like Raccoon. How long does that process take usually for you?
Well, the most amazing thing is that if you have to start a creature from scratch, it's always the basics. When rinse, wash, repeat. It's sculpting, molding, painting, furring, or whatever it is the director wants. You're lucky if you have something you've already pre-made. Thankfully for Raccoon, I actually had made a raccoon for a drama back east. So I already had a raccoon mold to do. But he said I wanted it to be more anthropomorphic. I wanted to have an attitude. I wanted to, when it looks at you, it looks like it's thinking and it has a mind. And I thought, so just a few little tweaks of an original design, and then, there you go.
Very cool. That's very cool. I mean, you got some really, really great stuff here. I love what you do. The stuff looks so just realistic. So if anybody wanted to contact you or utilize your services for a film or a project or something of that nature, how would they be able to get in contact with you?
So you can find me at gotoeffects@gmail.com. You can also go to my website. It's basically gotoeffects.com, as well as on Instagram, Facebook, most of the social medias. And then I'm easy, fast, quick to hire.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for talking to us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll definitely have to follow you on Instagram and see what you're up to. We're actually at a really, really cool booth with Robert Reimers, who actually does a lot of special effects and design.
It's actually
Reimers, my apologies. Sorry, yeah, actually, Robert Reimers.
I better stop.
Yeah, my apologies. I always want to make sure we get the names right.
No worries.
So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
I do a lot of things. I think mostly I like to revolve it around film. Ever since I was a kid, I've always loved doing film-related things, special effects, monsters. But I've always been that kid that, say, for my birthday, there would always be somebody that got me a box that would be full of paper, tape, string, some clay, foil, and I'd just have a blast because I could make whatever I want. And I was that kid that could make anything out of garbage, and I like that concept.
Oh, very, very cool. You've got a lot of really cool stuff here. So before we get into some of the cool stuff here, let's start with this guy right here. You created the design for this. You want to move your hand so they can see that you're real?
Right, there's a person in there.
Yeah, there's an actual person in there. So how long did something like this project take to put together, and what was the process like?
Well, this one actually is interesting because I wanted to do something that would not take a long time, to have it be sort of an inspiration for people. So this only took me a couple days. Because when you look at it from this side, that's the whole costume. The back side, you don't really see it.
Right.
So my concept was that he could lean up against a tree in the front yard when kids come by for trick-or-treating and they just think it's a prop. Jump out of them, So in my front yard, I've got the whole tree decorated like this except one section. So I'll, on Halloween night, I'll lean up against there and scare people.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, this is, it looks really cool. It looks great, though. I know you said you went simple, but it looks really, really good.
Thank you. It's actually just trash bags, expanding foam, gap filler you get at the hardware store. I used a heat gun to melt the plastic. I used hot glue to glue the creepy cloth and the moss on there. I used zip ties. So it's all stuff you can go to the hardware store, to Walmart, and same with the paint. It's all stuff you can get at the store any time of the year.
Very cool. I mean, it's all stuff that anybody could get, but I don't know if anybody could do this.
Thank you. But hopefully it's inspiring. People like, oh, that's all that is? Wow, okay.
Very cool. And then you also do props and things of this nature as well?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I do a lot of painting. I do a lot of layers of painting. I'm really into textures, colors, just making things look real by distressing them. It takes even something that is real, it looks fake because it's too clean. I think props in movies, when you see it, if it's too shiny, clearly looks like a piece of plastic. It's no, you got to tarnish the edges a little bit, so it's more convincing because it's seen some years.
No, very, very cool. I mean, I love it. I love what you do. I love the creativity. A lot of stuff just looks, so real. And I know you thought this was an easy project, but so an outsider looking in, it looks very complex. And so you do a really, really great job. If somebody were to say, you know what, I'd love for this guy to work with me on a film set or a project or something of that nature, how would they find you?
They could find me. I don't have a website right now, but you can find me on Instagram. It's Rob is Creative. That's all it is. That's the handle, just Rob is Creative. And that's my primary you can find me there. You can find me on Facebook too, but Instagram.
Instagram's the way to go. It's kind of what I use for my first preference. So, well, thank you so much, Robert, for talking with us today. Definitely look forward to see what you guys do in the future, and keep doing your thing, man. Absolutely, yeah.
And I got to trim, just some pruning here.
And we're actually at this really, really cool axe throwing booth. It's actually called the Bearded Axe, and I'm talking with
Chris Johnson.
Okay, and you're the owner of the Bearded Axe?
You got it.
Okay, and how long have you been doing axe throwing, and how long have you been in business?
Yeah, so 3.5 years now. A month before COVID. So when we launched, it was perfect timing.
Oh, best timing in the world, right?
Exactly. So it's been good.
Yeah, and where are you guys generally located? Where do you do the axe throwing?
Yeah, so we're located in Placerville. Our general range is like 25 miles, but it is a per mile after that. So we'll go just about anywhere somebody's willing to pay the mileage.
For sure. Now, so you guys basically have a trailer. Do you and basically so people can like hire you for parties and things of this nature?
Yeah, most of what we do is actually private booking. So we do occasionally these public events, but most of it's private booking, birthdays, weddings, all that stuff.
Very cool. And how did you get involved in the axe throwing business?
So, kind of a funny story. I saw a video of Jason Momoa throwing axes at a bar in Canada while he's drinking a beer, and I was like, "Oh, that looks fun." So we built one at home, and my wife and I started doing it for fun, and then we decided to try to turn it into a business.
Very cool. And it seemed to me like it's a business that once you get it set up, it's not too complicated to keep it going. I mean, outside of maybe changing the board, that's probably about the only thing you really need to change.
Yeah, you got axes get broken and dinged up, and just general maintenance for a trailer anyway. But yeah, it's all part of a league, so the league is all standardized, so you can go to just about anybody in the league and have a similar setup. So
very cool, very cool. And so, before we let you go, obviously, where can people find you if they want to rinse you out for a party or social event or anything of that nature?
Yeah, the beardedaxethrowinglanes.com is the easiest way. Instagram, Facebook, we're pretty active on both. So that's usually the easiest ways to reach out through email, phone number, whatever you want, or just find us on Instagram and then come to an event we're at. Come grab a card or something.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for talking to us. Man. We greatly appreciate it. And maybe we get a couple shots of you throwing some axes.
You got it.
All right. Really cool special booth, which is called the 916 Ghostbusters, and we're out here talking with Sean, who is actually the owner of the organization. Or?
Yes, so I'm the founder. I founded the group about 4 years ago of the basically local chapter here of just Ghostbusters.
Very cool. And how did you get involved with it? What's, I guess, kind of the mission of the 916 Ghostbusters?
Well, the main mission is just having fun. We do also do some charity stuff, so we try to get involved with various local charity organizations. We don't turn really anything down. How I got it, it's basically just been a childhood dream. Watching the original 1984 and 1989 Ghostbuster films, then of course the old school Sunday morning cartoons, real Ghostbusters. Since I can remember, I always wanted to be a Ghostbuster, and then I got to a point where I became a Ghostbuster and I founded an organization.
Very cool. So I know it's the 916 Ghostbusters. Are there other chapters that you're a part of, or is this your own separate entity?
This is my own separate entity. There is actually it's actually a worldwide fan base. Actually, people don't realize how big it is. There's chapters in Japan, Australia, UK. But for us though, here locally though, we're our own entity. We do run with another crew from time to time though. It's called the Ectoforce SF, it's another local based in the Bay Area Ghostbuster group. But I mean, pretty much, we operate ourselves out here by ourselves.
Very cool. And then as far as like the gear and all the stuff, is it something that you guys actually make, or do you get the stuff online? Like, how do you come across like the packs and all that stuff?
Well, actually, all these are handmade. So yeah, besides, do we have a Hasbro lab? So yeah, so this is actually a Hasbro lab that was released last year. So you can say that was one of the bought one, but basically everything else, like that's my original Proton pack for 6 years. His right there is a Ben and Kent pack. They're all kits, so we build by hand.
That's very cool. That is some phenomenal stuff. And if somebody wanted to, contact you guys, or they wanted you guys to come to an event, or if they wanted to just get involved, they're just like another Ghostbuster enthusiast like yourself, how would they be able to get a hold of you in order to get in contact with you?
Yeah, I would say they can reach out through us via social media. So we are on Facebook, the 916, just type in the 916, and then also on Instagram as well. And if they really want to get a little more details, more like, we have an email account that is on our main Facebook page, so they can email us that way as well.
Very cool. Well, Sean, it was so great talking to you. I greatly appreciate it. And I love the things you guys doing, and the costumes are phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you again for watching SacTown Movie Buffs Television. We'll be back again soon with another episode.